What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about one of the biggest events in all of esports, and without question, one of the most prestigious tournaments in Counter-Strike history, IEM Cologne 2026. The group stages battles are over. The playoff teams have been decided, the pick'em challenges is in absolute chaos, and thousands of fans are preparing to watch the world's best Counter-Strike teams battle it out inside the legendary Lexus Arena in Germany. Sorry about that, guys. For many players, winning Cologne is a career defining achievement. For some organizations, it's a chance to prove they belong among the elite. And for the fans, it's another opportunity to witness moments that could become part of Counter-Strike history forever. Today, we're going to break down why Cologne is so important, what makes this year's event special, the biggest teams remaining in the tournament right now, and the major storylines that could decide who lifts the trophy. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about IEM Cologne 2026. But before we even talk about the teams, it's important to understand why this event matters so much. Every sport has tournaments that carry extra weight. In traditional sports, there are venues and championships that every athlete dreams of competing in. Counter-Strike has Cologne. For over a decade, some of the greatest players in the game's history have competed on this stage. Legends have been created here, dynasties have been built here, and some of the most iconic moments the game has ever seen happen in front of the Cologne crowd. The Lanxess Arena has become one of the most recognizable venues in esports. Thousands of fans pack the arena every year. The crowd reacts to every clutch, every ace, comeback, and every heartbreaking elimination. Most professional players have said that the Cologne crowd is unlike anything else in Counter-Strike. That energy can completely change a match. One incredible play can send the entire arena into a frenzy, and one mistake can suddenly put enormous pressure on a team. That's why so many pros place Cologne alongside the biggest achievements in the game. Winning here means more than just earning prize money. It means your name becomes part of Counter-Strike history forever. The 2026 tournament has been full of surprises so far. One thing that makes this year's event especially interesting is how unpredictable it has been. Going into the tournament, most fans had a pretty clear idea of which teams they expected to see in the playoffs. But as always, Counter-Strike had other plans. Several favorites struggled, underdogs exceeded expectations, and some of the matches that looked one-sided on paper ended up becoming some of the most competitive series of the entire event. That's one of the reasons Counter-Strike remains one of the most exciting esports to watch. Unlike some games where individual talent can completely dominate every situation, Counter-Strike constantly rewards preparation, teamwork, communication, and adaptation. A team can look unstoppable one day and vulnerable the next. One tactical adjustment can completely change the outcome of a match. And because of that, predicting playoff brackets has become almost impossible. And if you spent any time on social media recently, you've probably seen people arguing about their pick'em predictions. Every year, fans try to predict how the tournament would play out, and every year the playoffs find a way to ruin those predictions. This year may be one of the hardest pick'em events we've ever seen. There isn't just one dominant favorite, there are several teams that legitimately look capable of winning the entire tournament. That means every playoff matchup becomes incredibly difficult to predict. Do you trust the experienced veterans? Do you believe in the hot streak team? Do you bet on an individual star power? Or do you go with a safer option? These are the decisions fans are making right now. And by the time the grand final arrives, most pick'em brackets will probably be completely destroyed. But that's also part of the fun. The unpredictability is what makes Counter-Strike special. So, talking about that, let's now talk about the team that has become one of the biggest storylines of Cologne 2026, Team Spirit. There is no denying how talented this roster is. Their firepower is incredible, their confidence is obvious, and they have one of the most exciting players the game has ever seen, Donk. By now, every Counter-Strike fan knows exactly what Donk is capable of. His aggression constantly catches teams off guard, his aim is ridiculous, and his ability to take over rounds by himself has made him one of the most feared players in professional Counter-Strike. When Donk gets going, entire matches can suddenly feel unwinnable for the opposing team. But despite all that talent, there's still one question hanging over Team Spirit. Can they finally win when it matters most? The criticism surrounding Spirit isn't about their skill. Nobody doubts their skill. The concern is whether they can consistently finish tournaments. Deep playoff runs are impressive, grand final appearances are impressive, but eventually teams are judged by trophies. And that's why so many eyes are on Spirit right now. If they win Cologne, it changes the narrative completely. Instead of being remembered as a talented team that falls short, they'll be remembered as champions. Now, stating that, while Spirit may be one of the most exciting teams, Vitality remains one of the most respected. The reason is simple: consistency. Year after year, tournament after tournament, Vitality continue to find themselves competing for championships. That kind of consistency is incredibly difficult in modern Counter Strike. The competition is stronger than ever, teams study each other constantly, strategies evolve rapidly, and every organization is looking for an edge. Yet somehow Vitality continues to remain near the top. That's why so many analysts still consider them one of the favorites heading into the playoffs. Their experience matters, their composure matters, and when the pressure starts building, experienced teams often find ways to survive. The question is whether they can continue their dominance against hungry teams that desperately wants to take their place, or will they be left behind and will new champions pursue? Every tournament has a dangerous dark horse, a team that enters with less pressure and slowly becomes a serious threat. This year, that team might be Aurora. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in Counter Strike. When players start believing they can beat anyone, their confidence grows. Their communication improves, their decision making becomes faster, and suddenly they start winning matches that nobody expected. That's why teams like Aurora become so dangerous. They're playing with confidence, they're gaining experience every series, and they have the opportunity to shock everyone. If they continue their run, don't be surprised if they become one of the biggest stories of this tournament. Then we have G2, one of the most recognizable organizations in Counter Strike. Over the years, G2 has produced incredible moments. They've had superstar players, reached major finals, built massive fan bases, but they've all experienced their share of disappointment. That's what makes this playoff run so interesting. Every tournament is an opportunity to rewrite the narrative. A strong Cologne performance could remind everyone why G2 has remained one of the most respected organizations in esports. The challenge will be consistency, because in a playoff environment, one bad map can change everything, and one mistake can send a team home for sure, and every round matters. So that's one of the reasons tournaments like Cologne remain so popular, is because they showcase everything that makes Counter-Strike great. The game is incredibly simple to understand. You plant a bomb, the counter-terrorists stop them, and despite the simplicity, the depth is endless. Smoke grenades, trying to line up what kind of smoke works, what smokes off con, what smokes off cap, and economic decisions matter as well. And because of that, no match ever feels exactly the same. Fans aren't just watching players shoot each other, they're watching strategy unfold in real time. They're watching teams adapt under pressure, they're watching players make split-second decisions that can determine the outcome of an entire tournament. That's what separates Counter-Strike from almost every other competitive game. Now, for a second here, let's just go back and let's imagine Team Spirit wins the Cologne. The impact would be massive. Suddenly, all the conversations about finals struggles disappear. The criticism vanishes. The questions get answered. Instead of discussing what Spirit can't do, people start discussing what they might accomplish next. Donk's legacy grows even further. The organization gains even more credibility, and Cologne becomes another milestone in the team's history. That's why this tournament feels so important for them. There's simply so much at stake here. So, as the playoffs begin inside the Lake Lansix Arena, I still don't know how to say that, sorry about that, guys. Counter Strike fans around the world are preparing for what could be one of the best finishes to a tournament we've ever seen all year. Will Team Spirit finally break through? Can Vitality continue proving why they're one of the best teams in the world? Will G2 return to their glory? Or will Aurora shock everyone and complete an unforgettable underdog story? No matter who wins, one thing is certain: the next few days are going to create new memories, new highlights, and potentially new legends, because that's what Cologne always delivers. Moments that Counter-Strike fans remember forever, and by the end of this tournament, one team will walk onto that stage, lift the trophy above their heads, and earn their place in history. The only question left is, who will it be? So, if you liked this video, thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Counter-Strike content, and let me know down below who you think is winning IEM Cologne 2026. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.